his time to meet me outside of the locker room, give me a hug, take a picture with me, and it meant the world to me. Now, I will say this is very unfortunate. Many of you guys don't know how Sean Taylor, but he died, unfortunately, helping other people who decided to turn on him and rob him. So he's at his house. Normally, NFL players travel even though they're injured, but he was injured with a leg injury. He was supposed to travel with the Redskins, but he didn't. He stayed home with his family. At the time, he had a newborn baby who she's grown now. She's playing volleyball at North Carolina, and she was a newborn baby, and his fiance, he decided to stay home with them at the house, and that's when these thugs, whom he hired to help around the house to give these young brothers an opportunity, ranging from 16 to 19 or to 17 years old, and they decided that they were going to rob Sean, thinking that he wasn't at the house. They brought a loaded shotgun into his house. When they went to break into his bedroom, he was standing there to protect his family, and one shot rang out, striking him in the leg. He ended up getting a femoral artery bleed. He survived, I think, for the first night or two, and then he passed away. But Sean was a very big inspiration on who I am today as far as a football player. And there is nobody that will ever be as great of an athlete, hard of a hitter, aggressive, hands, you name it. There will never be another player as great as Sean Taylor. Travis Hunter could be the closest. But Sean Taylor was doing what Travis Hunter was doing at 230 pounds. So there will be no other Sean Taylor. So I just want to give him some respect. Today is his birthday, April the 1st. And I want to show respect to him and all the Sean Taylor fans. Let's just keep showing love, man. He was a great guy. He didn't deserve to die.
In half a mile, turn left.
So anyway,
and give yourself permission
he was here today, man. I'd
to
love
just
to shake his hand
exist
and meet him.
as you are. You ready? Settle into this moment. Let's make this drive a space of peace wherever you're going. Let's begin. In half a mile, turn left.
We got everything lined up to go with this. This is the greatest, most exciting thing that I've probably done in my career so far. And I'm telling you right now, we are sick and tired of being alienated from sports. People don't want to, showcase us, don't want to advertise with us because we're conservative. However, we have an opportunity with my buddy, Caleb Costner, who's an ARCA NASCAR racer. I've been knowing him since last Talladega. We sponsored his car in Daytona 500, at the Daytona 500. Unfortunately,
in 0.1 miles, turn left.
Sponsored another car, and he ended up wrecking out my guy. So Caleb didn't have a chance to finish. He moved up about 6 spots in the first, I think, minute and a half. I think he had a chance to win. So we are going to join forces, and we're going to get Caleb across the finish line for Talladega. We're going to win that doggone race. And I want you guys to be involved. All the opportunities that are afforded to me, I want to extend it to you guys. So this is what we're going to do. Our goal
in half a mile, turn left.
We already got a bunch of companies want to jump on, but if you want to be involved, here's your opportunity, okay? $55,000 we want to raise before Talladega. Here's how you can be involved. If you want to do a sponsor level,
in 0.1 miles, turn left. Take in the peace of just being.
It's only one-of-one being made. I will sign the shirt for you, and the sponsors will be on the back of that shirt. So if you want the $50
turn left, just like you've done 1,000 times before.
Put your name on the NASCAR. You'll also get a commemorative photo of me and Caleb. You'll get a signed photo from me, and again, you'll get that T-shirt for $5,000. Now here's the fun part, and maybe 2 people can come get in on it. All right, for $5,000, you'll spend the whole weekend with me. It's going to be absolutely mind-blowing. We're going to go to dinner the first night at Perry Steakhouse. We already got the reservations. You don't have to pay for none of that food, steak. I already picked all the food items. It's going to be incredible. Drinks on me. All right? I'm promoting too much, but they on me.
You have a message.
And you'll be able to be in the pit with me. So on race day, you'll be in the pit with us. You'll get a special jersey, which is a pit jersey for the team car, and also Caleb will have it. It looks a little like Caleb's jersey here, but you'll get a special pit jersey that nobody else will have. We'll do lunch there. Obviously, we'll be hanging out, taking pictures. You'll be able to watch the race from the pit. And then the following day, we'll have a cup race. At the cup race, you'll be there with me. Now, for a $5,000 sponsorship spot, you'll get 2 tickets. So it could be you and somebody else. You bring your spouse, bring your friends. You can get 2 people to go in on it. It'll be an incredible experience. If $50 is too much, but you still want to help, you can also help by just giving. So we'll find a way to get you a link where you can give any amount. But y'all, let's do this. Let's make history. Let's prove that conservatives can be in these spaces with everybody else, and we don't have to hold back. So shout out to Caleb for giving me the opportunity and allowing us to sponsor his car, being bold, not afraid of conservatives. So we're going to have fun. I want you to be a part of it. All you got to do is go to Tatum's store, and then you can go to the sponsorship link, and you can pick those options, and we'll have it available for you ASAP. All right, let's get to some news real quick. You know what? Yeah, we'll have this in the background. I think you guys, it won't distract you too much. All right, let's start with the first segment, which is the DOGE findings. This is incredibly mind-blowing to me when I hear what Elon Musk has discovered when it comes to our government inefficient behavior. It is asinine. Me and the wife was talking about this earlier, that it is amazing how much fraud was going on in the United States government. I knew they were tricky and they were fraudulent and they were, dirt bags. I knew that some of them were. I knew that they pimping your money out. I mean, they do it at the church. So our people are going to be people. But the level of fraud, the level of collusive fraud, I don't know if collusive is a word, but y'all know what I'm saying. They colluded to commit fraud against the American people. I remember Elon Musk was talking about a $10,000 module where people can go on and do a survey with the national parks, and the module technology only costs $10,000. We were spending $1 billion on that. And then when you fill out the survey for the national parks, it goes nowhere. Well, what is that all about? We know what it's all about. Somebody won a contract for $1 billion. They gave a kickback to their friends in the government who gave them that contract to go nowhere. And there's no oversight, so they can do whatever they want to do. People never find out until now. So let's watch Elon Musk and another gentleman, I forget his name. They're at the Kai Convention Center, a summit that they're providing information in Green Bay, Wisconsin. And the reason that they're out there because there's a big vote that's coming up in Wisconsin, and you guys need to be involved in it if you live there. Okay, roll the clip.
And then you'll notice there's a strange trend here where how many Social Security numbers were issued? Do you want to?
Yeah. So let me tell you what happened here. We started at the top of the system.
I want to talk about a lot of people.
We started at the top of the system, mapping the whole system of Social Security to understand where all the fraud was. And there's a lot of great people there that showed us really a lot of waste. And so that came up with a big list of stuff they're working on. You've heard some of that already. But this is what jumped out at us. When we saw these numbers, we were like, what is this? In 21, you see 270,000 people, goes all the way to 2.1 million in 24. These are non-citizens that are getting Social Security numbers.
Yeah, this is a mind-blowing chart.
Yeah, this literally blew us away. Like, we went there to find fraud, and we found this by accident. And this isn't political, by the way. My parents are immigrants. Yeah, this country's been great to us. My brother and sister all born in Spain. I'm pro-legal immigration. This is not political. This is not political. This is about America and the future of America. And there are a lot of good people in the system that pointed us in this direction. I want to honor them right now. They work in the government today, who took risks to show us these numbers and tell us what's going on. Yeah. So I want to stop for a minute. I want to honor those people today. Very good people. Very good people. I have been from D.C. to Social Security offices to the border to track this down, and very good people have helped us along the way. I want to thank them.
Yeah.
This number, what this is when you come in the country, if you're illegal, there's a couple ways to come in. You come in through a port of entry, and you can tell them you're afraid. They'll give you an asylum case. You'll get an interview. Then you get in. That's one way to do it. Another way to do it is to just go to the border. Literally, this happened. I talked to Border Patrol myself. Elon was there too. I went to Laredo, and I went to Bronzeville. Elon went to Eagle Pass. You walk up to a Border Patrol officer, and you tell them you want to come in. they have a couple of choices. They can charge you with a misdemeanor or a felony under 1325, or they can make it an administrative offense, like a parking ticket basically. They were told to do that, make it an administrative offense under the last administration. And then you go walk across the border, they do what's called a release from your own recognizance, and they give you an NTA, notice to appear, which is to appear to judge. The wait times on judges are like average 6 years. Look at Grok, you'll see it on immigration judges. There's only 700 of them. This is 5.5 million people, okay? So what happens then? Once you're in the country and you got asylum through one of these pathways, and we map the whole thing out, you can apply for a work document. You file a 765, it's the work form. You get this form.
All right, so he's explaining that. A clip 2. This is Elon Musk furthering the explanation of how government money laundering in the USAID, how it occurred. Roll the clip.
It's peaceful discourse.
My question is about USAID. Has the DOGE team found any evidence that any of the radical left Democrats like Maxine Waters, Adam Schiff, Chuck Schumer have received money directly from USAID? And if so, will we be hearing about that evidence anytime soon?
Yeah. So there is a massive amount of corruption, but it is circuitous. So what happens is there's money that, obviously it's your taxpayer money, that is then sent to various government organizations who then send it to NGOs, which an NGO is a non-governmental organization, but obviously if it's a government-funded non-governmental organization, it's just an organization, it's just a government. And effectively there's a giant fraud loophole, which is that the government can send money to an NGO that is then no longer governed by the laws of the United States. So they'll send the money overseas to one NGO, then they'll go through a bunch of them, and then I'm highly confident that a bunch of that money then comes back to the United States and lands in the pockets of the people you just mentioned. But it is a circuitous route. It's not like it doesn't go directly, but let's just say that there's a lot of strangely wealthy members of Congress where I just can't...
Speed trap reported ahead.
How did they become rich?
Slowing things down might feel good.
How'd they get 20 million if they're earning 200,000 a year? It sounds... nobody can explain that. So something's... Yeah, we're going to try to figure it out and certainly stop it from happening. Yeah. I mean, just in general, the whole NGO scam is just crazy, yeah, it's blown my mind really. Yeah.
All right, so that's Elon Musk explaining this NGO thing. I think that now, obviously, we have to prove it in order for us to unequivocally say that these people are doing corrupt things and pinpoint them and prosecute them, right? But I can see how people are doing this. We see that some of these political people are creating these NGOs or being a part of these NGOs, and they're siphoning money from the government, and then they're taking that money to do whatever they want to do on the back end with zero oversight. So to me, it's very clear that there's something nefarious going on, and I don't think Stevie Wonder has to wonder about it. You know, Ray Charles can see, and Stevie don't have to wonder that they're doing something nefarious. When you're going into government office, and people are wondering and probably upset a little bit while Elon Musk is scrutinizing this so much, and it's because you work for the people. This is not a for-profit company. If this was a for-profit company, people are doing whatever means that they feel is necessary to do in order to make a profit that's within the law, or maybe they're even skirting the edge of the law, that wouldn't be something that government people would be getting involved in necessarily. But you work for us. You can't be getting rich off our money. You can get rich on your own dime. You go get rich on your own investments. You can't leverage the money of taxpayers to get rich and do investments and leverage relationships to benefit you as an individual. That's not what government departments are supposed to be doing. And I'm hoping that they can find this out sooner than later. Let's see what else is on here. Yeah, they had mentioned this, but there's about over 2 million people who are non-citizens that receive Social Security numbers. And you know a lot of things you can get with Social Security numbers, right? You can get benefits, you can get loans, you can get all kind of stuff with a Social Security number. And if you're not a citizen, if you defraud on your Social Security or your credit is bad, who cares? Then if you're a person, you can get issued a Social Security number, you can sell it to somebody else. Or people can take advantage of you and they can take a bunch of Social Security numbers from illegal aliens who probably can't speak English that well, don't know the system, and say, look, let us get your Social Security numbers, we'll get you signed up for something. And then they're leveraging debt in these people's names. And they don't even know they don't know how to figure that out. You think they're really paying taxes? Probably not. And if an illegal alien is behind on taxes, what do you do about it? They're not a citizen. How do you enforce that? How do you find them? You can't. So some of the vulnerabilities in the system is about 7 million Social Security accounts are linked to people who are 120 years and older, 20 million deceased individuals, which is insane. How do we not clean that up? We got the biggest economy in the world. We got literally a blank check to fund any organizational system of oversight that can make sure that we're not wasting people's money. I think every single person that's in government that had anything to do with the negligence of the mismanagement of money should be fired immediately. Now, this was a event that Elon Musk did for a particular judge that is going to be voted. Well, let's see. The judge is let's see. I think it's Waukesha County Circuit Court judge. He's a former attorney general from 2015 to 2019, and I think he may be running for that. I don't know why I thought he was running for something else, but I think it's they're voting for him to be a judge. I should have looked this up before I said this, because now I'm like, was he a judge or was he not? I wasn't really familiar with him. I was really focusing on Elon Musk's. I'll get to it in a second. I'll come back to it. But anyway, there's a vote in Wisconsin. If you live in Wisconsin, you probably know. I don't live nowhere near Wisconsin, so I have no idea what it is. Let's see. I think that's all I want to talk about. I mean, Nancy Pelosi is obviously one person who is suspect, right? Nancy Pelosi's former House Representative, everybody know, or House Speaker. Her net worth estimated between $50 million and $285 million. Now, we all know her husband is the one that probably is making a lot of money because of her position. He get knocked over the head by a weirdo, which I don't think was his fault, but it kind of drew attention to her husband a little bit, and that's why people are looking into it. Pelosi Government Relation Investments. It says business background. She owns Financial Leasing Services, a venture capital firm. No direct government contacts, no public record of winning government business contracts. As far as Paul Pelosi, let's use that. Stock trading controversies, investment aligned with major government action, raise ethical concerns. Now, they always say that these people like Nancy Pelosi and others are using their government information to pick stocks, which is insider trading. And this is why they think that this woman, who's only making $270-some thousand a year, is worth almost $280 million. Her notable investments and timing of Paul Pelosi is what the title of this section says. It says Microsoft March 2021 bought 15,000 shares before Microsoft won a $22 billion ARM contract. The stock rose 11%. Think about this. They bought Microsoft before they won a $22 billion arms contract. Either these people are incredible at guessing and gambling, or they knew that the contract was coming, and so they made an investment before the contract was finalized. Here's another one. Google. It's called Alphabet Google, which is their tag for sharing or whatever. The stock tag. I don't know what you call it. They bought 4,000 shares before Congress debated tech antitrust laws, and they profited $5 million off of that. NVIDIA, I think is what it's called. Investment before Congress discussed semiconductor subsidies, which they made over $1.2 million on that. So either these people are, I want to use a cuss word, but I'm not. Either these people are hecka good at figuring out what the stock is doing, or these people are doing something crazy. We could look at Maxine Waters. Maxine Waters in 2018, her estimated net worth was $793,000. 2024, she up at $2 million. And then at the end of 2024, she's at $3 million. 2025 is reported that she's at $10 million. How is she getting more and more, or get her wealth is increasing? It could be if she manages her money right? She invests in the stock market, right? As a normal person, she invests in real estate and stuff like that. You can see her net worth beginning to gain, but these people are very suspect to me. Adam Schiff, in 2018, his net worth was $1.4 million. Adam Schiff, as of 2024, $10 million. Elizabeth Warren, $7 million, between $7 and $12 million in 2018, or let's see, in 2018 it was like $7 million, and now she's worth at least $8 million. In 2019, she was $12 million. Now, let me just put this in perspective. A lot of people you don't know what your real true net worth is, right? Yes, there could be a lot of investments and stuff that's not disclosed. But what we do know is that these people's net worth is growing bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger while they're working in the government as public servants. Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, we don't know her net worth, but I guarantee you, I put my life on it. She worth probably 10 times more than she was worth being a bartender. All right, let's get to the next story. Kanye West. Now, anybody with a connected brainstem knows that Kanye West cannot be taken seriously. I lost faith in Kanye West, his legitimacy and seriousness a long time ago. I'm only bringing him up because how ridiculous this is. I don't know who wounded him, or after his mama passed, he just searching for attention, because I feel like he wasn't always this extreme. And let me just be straight up and up front with you guys. I don't want to hear nobody say he's creative. That's an excuse to be an idiot. Just because you have talent and creativity doesn't mean that you got to seek for attention in ways in which that draw negative attention, and people are not willing to listen to you or take you seriously. A person wearing a Ku Klux Klan hood, just because it ain't white, don't make it any different. I don't even know how you would buy something like this. How do you get the head pointed like that? I don't know what kind of stuff they doing, but he found it somewhere. But I want y'all to play this video. I think he's talking to DOGE Academics, and let's see what he got to say, brother.
That was my fault. I didn't want to have children with this person after the first 2 months of being with her. But that wasn't God's plan.
Kanye West making shocking claims in a new interview with DOGE Academics.
Y'all gonna pull my kids into y'all, whatever the word is, Illuminati system.
Usually the things that I like the most are controversial to other people.
The nearly 90-minute video posted to X shows the disgraced rapper in black Ku Klux Klan garb, doubling down on his recently ramped-up anti-Semitic remarks, using slurs to rant about other rappers, and complaining about being a parent in the public eye.
My kids are celebrities, and I don't have to say so. It's war.
I think after having kids, it just is such a life changer. Our life is so different.
This as reports circulate claiming Kim Kardashian wants to cut off Kanye from their 4 kids, North, Saint, Psalm, and Shy.
It's not okay.
Fans have seen how Kanye's controversial comments have hurt Kim in the past as she got real on her reality show.
All right, hold on a
It
second.
sucks, you know?
Women always doing this. Not all women, but why do women always feel like if they don't approve of the dad, he got to be cut off from the kids? The kids still love their daddy even though he nutty. I don't know why women do this. It bothers me so much. It's like when they feel like the dad isn't qualified enough. They want him not to talk to the kids. The kids don't feel that way. I don't know when people are going to realize that. It's the same thing with men. A woman may be a trash bag mom. Unless you're literally putting them in harm's way and doing illegal activity, they're going to love their mom no matter what. Daddy can be a deadbeat. It's worse when you don't let them see their daddy. Because now they got this mentality of their daddy is the victim and they got to either save him or they imagine that he's somebody he's not. So then they begin to gravitate to him and feel like they want to be closer to the alienated parent. Kanye West, I don't think that his shenanigans make him a bad dad. It probably make him a bad rapper. It probably give him a public persona that's embarrassing. But whether you guys don't have the chance to do that anymore. Kim, you should have kept your legs closed instead of having a kid with a nut job. You knew he was nutty when you had 3 or 4 kids with him. And now you guys are celebrities in the public eye. He don't just go away. They can't see their daddy, but their daddy on TV every day. It's a soft spot for me, y'all. That's the only reason why I'm saying something. I hate when I hear women say this. Let these kids see their daddy. Unless he put them in life and death situations, let them figure out if they want to be a part of his life. It's not right to do kids like that because you don't like him and you ready to move on with your life. Roll the clip.
When someone doesn't see how different they are, you'll always hope that you'll see a glimpse of them. And I hope I do. You know, it's hard. It's like co-parenting. It's really hard, you know? And
you're not co-parenting with just anyone.
Yeah.
For the quietest.
It's something she also opened up about on Angie Martinez's IRL podcast.
I had the best dad, and I had the best memories and the greatest experience. And
hold on.
that's.
But you still busting it open on a sex tape that y'all orchestrated to put out to the public. That's how you got famous. Now he a nut, but you also nutty. And it's funny that sex sells better than what Kanye doing. That's the only reason why Kim Kardashian is where she at now, because somebody released a tape of her and Ray J getting dirty. Live and explicit, getting nasty. And then people begin to hear, oh, Kim Kardashian. They start watching the video. She became famous. Then we find out later on, allegedly, they orchestrated this to get her some fame. And she has been popular for being ever since. So don't be too judgmental on Kanye, because you openly dating dudes and being married to him for 30 minutes and divorcing them. Pete Davidson, who's the nuttiest, weirdest dude on planet Earth, is now playing around with your kids. And you ain't even with him no more. You're not with that basketball player, Blake Griffin, or whatever his name is. You're not with him no more. You're not with the dude that was American Model or some other dude she was married to. Pete Davis just smashing and dashing. And then you think that Kanye hurt your kids, knowing that their mama is getting ran through ain't good for the kids either. Can we be honest?
In 1 mile, exit right. Don't forget that signal.
So I get it. It's hard to co-parent. I get it. But ma'am, Can you take a break from acting like you doing the right thing for your kids too? Roll the clip.
All I want for my kids, as long as they can have that, that's what I would want for them, you know? So, like, if they don't know things that are being said or what's happening in the world, like, why would I ever bring that energy to them? You know, that's like real heavy grown up that they're not ready to, like, deal with.
In a quarter of a mile,
There's no way
exit
to describe it,
right.
but it's a lot. That's like the best way I know how to describe it.
Yeah, you know what's funny is that she says that, and then she let her daughter be on TikTok. And Kanye
Exit right.
because
The world awaits you.
But yet she crying on the interview.
In 0.1 miles, keep right, and then keep left. Nice energy today. We're getting it done. Keep right, and then keep left. Keep left, and appreciate the day.
Kanye West posted wearing another Ku Klux Klan hoodie. I don't know if Kanye is wearing that. Maybe it's just on a mannequin, but he posted this. I just don't know what would possess a person to do this, because the Klan hated black and Jews. They hated them. They intimidate them not to vote for the Republican Party. They would hang people, lynch people, and abuse people, firebomb their house. They would do all these negative things. I don't understand, like, why connecting this is associating yourself with free speech or whatever you think. Like, people that won't listen to you when you're talking and you're wearing something that was such an evil representation of one of the worst organizations in American history. That's like dressing up as a child abuser and trying to talk to people about stuff. Like somebody that was a prolific person who abused children. And you go dress up like them for Halloween and then want to have a conversation. Or not even Halloween, you just dress up like them to beat them. But you want to have a real conversation with people. You're going to turn them out. That's like dressing up as a school, you know, a kid that went up and da-da-da-da in school. You going to dress up as Timothy McVeigh or somebody? I think Timothy McVeigh bombed the Oklahoma City bombing. But you get what I'm saying. Somebody that had done such a heinous thing, are you going to dress up like them and then do a press conference? I mean, you're not going to get anywhere like that. What's the other photo? Him wearing a swastika with Nick Fuentes. So Nick Fuentes, in my opinion, is influenced by the devil. So I don't know why Kanye is friends with him unless they're both influenced by the devil. Nick Fuentes is what I would consider to be a fake right-wing Christian who's a racist. And all the people who follow him are racist. Not all of them, but I think a lot of them do. He got a little group called the Groupers, and they're incredibly racist. And if you listen to these idiots long enough, they will try to convince you that America is better when it's white. No, America is better when you live the American dream and you have the American idea in your heart and you assimilate to that theology. That's when America is better. Whether you black, green, immigrant, white, you name it, you apply that, you will live an American dream, or you'll live a great experience in America. Nobody can act like white people are that great, because the stupidest people in the world right now are white liberals. The absolute worst. And the reason I say that is because they've been given this much success and opportunity and freedom, and they want to throw it all away to virtue signaling. All right, let's go to the next topic. Some more derangement against the Tesla vehicle. Let's put them up on the screen real quick, just this video. It'll be very quick. We got this idiot, and I think he lost his job. This happened in front of Planet Fitness in Pennsylvania. This dummy allegedly drew a swastika on a Tesla SUV using a crayon. It was captured on camera. He was identified through his members record at Planet Fitness. You know you soft if you go to Planet Fitness anyway. I'm just playing. The Tesla owner confronted him and he admitted to the act and apologized. He was charged with mischief, harassment, and disorderly conduct. And he's just another example of these idiots that they're mentally ill. Like, I guarantee you in 20 years, we're going to have this study done and people are going to realize what was really going on. Whatever's happening to our people that's causing and creating them to be mentally ill, whatever degree that is, whether you're on the spectrum with autism, whether you are, you got personality disorder, all of those people, I would say 90% of people who have these disabilities are acting out in these ways, meaning that they are the ones who are left-wing nut jobs, painting their hair, voting for Democrats by and large. Not all of them, but I'm saying the ones that are mentally ill are the ones that we see doing this stuff. They go burn down stuff, draw a swastika on Teslas. They're trans, non-binary. It's all a mental illness. I don't think any logical person who don't have a mental disability, and I'm not saying having a mental disability make you bad or make you evil. I just think if we were to help people, we have to understand and diagnose that people are having a mental crisis. There's nobody that is sane without a mental crisis is walking around saying they're non-binary. The man saying he want to lay up on top of another man. It's something going on in the mental. And these same people act out like this. There's no reason for a grown man to think that this makes sense whatsoever. I don't like nothing to do with Democrats. I would never have scratched somebody's car up or write a swastika on somebody's car because I'm mad at them. When I'm mad at them for what? Because they own a car that was created by a company made in America. The biggest shareholder is Elon Musk, that's trying to find fraud in the government to get the people their money back, and I'm gonna mess your stuff up for that? You got to be crazy. Roll the clip.
Free service.
Free service. How about you pay for the repairs? Write a check. You just bought a Tesla.
I can wipe it off
No,
with a towel.
no,
It's not
no.
heat.
It is a hate crime, sir. It is a hate crime. Did you write a swastika on
I'm
this?
sorry you're upset.
Did you write a swastika?
It didn't even work. Apparently it doesn't
Did you
work.
write a swastika on the? It's a key, sir. We see it on the video.
It's not a key.
Did you? Is it a
I was probably
swastika?
putting my keys in
Is
my
it a
pocket.
swastika?
Have you looked at your car?
Is it a
Is there a key
Yes.
mark?
Is it a
It's not-
swastika? It's at the police right now. It's being fingerprinted.
What do you mean it's being fingerprinted?
Because they're trying to track you down. Thankfully, Facebook tracked you down. So your business, your freaking livelihood, everything now.
Listen.
Because you chose to write so to tell Facebook that you're sorry for writing a swastika on a Tesla.
Listen, I said I'm sorry.
For what?
And I
For what?
apologize.
For what?
I have nothing against
For
your
what?
car, and I have nothing against you.
So why
Okay?
would you write a swastika on a Tesla?
Obviously, I have something against Elon Musk, but that's not the
So
way
Elon
to
Musk
show my...
owns that car because
No,
it was
he
bought
owns
and
the
paid
company.
for. It was bought and paid for a long time
That's
ago.
why it's misguided, and obviously, I did not intend to do this.
All right.
He only feels that way because he got caught. Why would you do that? And people say because he owns Tesla. A whole bunch of people own Tesla. I don't know if you guys know how the stock market works. I don't know if you know how shares work and investors work. But most of y'all own Tesla. If you are in any reasonable index fund, you probably got Tesla in your index fund. At some point, if you're investing, you're probably investing in companies like Tesla, especially if you did it 10 years ago. You'd be making so much money right now if you did. But if you're in a pension plan and the pension program that have a set amount of investments, they're probably in Tesla. State pensions are putting their money in Tesla. You name it, it's in Tesla. And so, no, dummy, you all own Tesla. And you're going to vandalize the car because you're mad at one man who owns the majority shares. That's crazy. When I say majority shares, he's the single most shareholder, which means that as a one person, he owns more shares than any one other person. But he only owns 20% of Tesla. So he's not even, when you talk about the percentage of ownership, he's not the biggest owner. It's the plethora of people that own more of Tesla than he does. But anyway, I'm glad to see him apologize. I think that's a good gesture. Let's go to the next story, and I think I'm gonna have to save these other ones for tomorrow. A pregnant woman confronts her boyfriend who she believed was cheating on him with a gay dude that he played video games with. Let me just put this in perspective. Brandon Tatum, do you think that he in fact was cheating? The answer, ladies and gentlemen, is yes. That man was doing something with that other man. You're not answering the phone. You at the house of a man your wife don't even know who he is. How does your wife not know who this man is? Then it's a guy from the internet. And then not only is it a man that your wife don't know who he is on the internet, he's gay clearly, and he's in his underpants. He's in his chonies. And your wife come find you because you answer the phone because you playing. Bro, you can play video games online. You got to be at his house? What kind of video games y'all playing? Watch the video and tell me, do you agree or not? Roll it.
Hi, is Brian here? That's his card.
Hello, Brian.
That's my boyfriend. He's here and he needs to come out right now. Or I'm calling the police.
You can't call the police. It's in my house. Bye.
Holy fucking shit. Brian, you're fucking a gay man. He's cheating on me with a gay fucking man. You're cheating on me with that fucking man, Brian? Are you fucking kidding me?
I'm not, bro.
What the? Who is that? Who is that?
It's my friend from fucking gaming, bro.
You just fucked that guy?
No, it's my friend from
You
gaming.
just fucked that guy.
No, that's my
You
friend
just
from
fucked that
Xbox.
Stop. Women, if your man say, is my friend from gaming, he's cheating. He
He's cheating. There you go.
His voice has been taken away by a corrupt judge operating in a corrupt system. One man who has been ridiculed and insulted. One man who refused to back down. One man who refused to back down. One man who refused to back down. One man who stands between us and them. One man that wants to see America protected again. One man who wants to see America prosper again. One man who understands that a man is a man and a woman is a woman. One man who understands and protects the blessing of life. One man who wants to restore American exceptionalism. One man who once again wants to make America that shining city on a hill for all to see. A place where all the people of the world glowingly set their eyes upon. America. One man who unashamedly wants to make America great again. That one man is Donald Trump.
This is someone who actually stole 400,000 social security numbers and personal information from the Social Security database.
In 1 mile, exit right.
Social Security numbers and all of identification information in order for people to basically steal money from Social Security. And this is like, by the way, a particular avenue of fraud for like illegal immigrants and for voter fraud, because the main way that identification is established in the United States is via Social Security. So
in 1/4 of a mile, exit right. Don't forget that signal.
To get de facto registered to vote, even if they're not citizens, and to get a bunch of benefits and to milk the system. It's pretty.
Exit right. Don't forget that signal.
The Democrats basically taken every part of the government that could possibly be bent towards providing financial incentives.
In 0.1 miles, exit right. The world awaits you.
Social Security, disability, Medicare, unemployment.
Exit right.
Like IRS refunds without any income. It's wild. The diverted FEMA funds, which is supposed to be for helping Americans in distress from natural disasters, to pay for luxury hotels in New York for illegals to stay there. In fact, they're still there. Those hotels are still active.
So what I find interesting, welcome to the evening show, is that this stuff seems to be moving so fast that even the Department of Justice and the FBI can't keep up with it. You know, when I plan a show, I look at what's going on, I try to think, okay, is this going to matter? What's happening? And then you see that Elon says yesterday that someone's going to be arrested today for stealing 400,000 Social Security numbers. But yet, as of 5 minutes ago, nope, nobody's been arrested. And they're on to the next thing, because it just seems like there's so much for Pam Bondi and Kash Patel to go after. I don't know how they're keeping up, but we know there's no lists. We know there's nobody been arrested for 400,000 Social Security numbers being stolen. We know that nobody's been arrested for any of the grift. We know that nobody's been arrested for money laundering. And one thing that keeps coming back to me is you have to wonder, once they get somebody surrounded, I don't mean physically surrounded like by a house. I mean, once they have these people and say, we're going to arrest you. Does somebody just say, well, hold on, before you arrest me, I got all kinds of information you want? Because it just seems odd that there's always going to be something tomorrow. Somebody's going to get arrested. And Elon sticks his neck out. Someone's going to get arrested tomorrow. And then nobody gets arrested. And so, I'm not a cop. I've never been in law enforcement. But something makes me wonder, what keeps happening that none of the deadlines seem to ever be kept? And so I came up with this and went, what if this person, the he that Elon Musk mentioned, what if the he, when they went to go arrest him, said, hold on, my attorney wants to talk to you, we'd like to cut a deal, No, we don't do any deals. You're going to want to hear this. Okay, talk. And then they find out stuff and it's like, wow. And then it just keeps happening. They talk to somebody else. They're about to come in and do an arrest and boom. Hey, let me tell you what's really going on. I can actually see that picture happening. Maybe I've watched too many damn movies. That might be it. But something is wrong where none of the deadlines are ever met. I know we're only 2 months in, but can you imagine every time they peel something back, something else pops up? Another head gets put onto the guillotine, and that person is like, no, I can help you. I don't know. But I know Elon Musk was expecting someone to get arrested today for the theft of 400,000 Social Security numbers. So we shall see. So this show tonight, I'm going to try and go pretty fast-paced. I'm trying to make the nighttime shows fast. Get them in.
Police reported ahead. Slow and steady wins the race.
Elon Musk tonight at the 5 o'clock hour, he appeared on the 5 and he gave an interview with Judge Janine and Greg Gutfeld and Jesse Waters. So I wanted to cover a little bit of this stuff before I got into something really heavy that you guys are going to have to follow through. So let's check out.
Let's talk a little bit about some of the anti-Tesla violence. Your car company was...
It's unbelievable.
Yeah, I mean, it was a leftist dream come true. It was technologically advanced. It was the word of mouth was better than any car company, arguably, on the market. And now the left is trying to make it a pariah by tying their anti-Elon politics to violence. How do you talk the unhinged off the ledge, and how do you counter that violence that you're seeing at Tesla dealerships?
Now, before he answers that intrigued me. And I sat down and I thought to myself, what are we seeing? What are we actually seeing across the country, across the world? This isn't just a United States phenomenon. They're protesting over there too. And you have to imagine, the people in the United States, we're not going to debate right now whether that's AstroTurf or real, may have a reason. They may feel personally impugned. They may feel that, Elon Musk is taking their job. I can somewhat understand their anger. But why are people in England mad? Why are people in Finland? Why are people in Europe? Why are people mad over there? What is Elon Musk doing in America that has the nuts pissed off over there? And then when you start digging into this, you're realizing not only are they pissed off, they're pissed off at the guy who they put all of their credence in for decades. I don't know how long we've been hearing about global warming, climate change, whatever word they wanted to use. And here comes an entrepreneur and says, you know what? I'm going to help you guys save the planet. Oh my gosh, thank you. We're going to destroy Ford. We're going to destroy Oldsmobile and Pontiac and everybody else. I don't know if Pontiac's still around. We're going to destroy all that. We're going to go to electric vehicles. The government comes out with an electric vehicle mandate. Oh my gosh, Elon, you are the best. He was their nirvana. He was going to carry the flag of climate change, of global warming. A guy saw an idea and said, here's an opening. We can take advantage of this. And people worldwide were so happy because, we're going to be dead in 5 years because of climate change. And so this is a person that they put on a pedestal. They've been essentially worshiping for quite some time. Couldn't wait to go buy his vehicle, couldn't wait to tell you need a Tesla, because climate change was, what's the word they use? you know the word they use, existential threat. It is the biggest threat to the United States and other countries anywhere. Climate change is that big of a deal that we have to get everyone to buy electric vehicles. And then all of a sudden, This guy aligns himself with Trump because you pushed him aside, and now he's got this agency where he's going in and uncovering all kinds of seemingly grift, theft, money laundering. And because he's exposing all of this, the people over there are pissed off. The people over in Europe are pissed off at Elon. They're literally walking around with his head on a pike, theoretically, burning him at the stake. And you have to go back and just think, wait a minute, he's not looking into the Finland government, not looking into the French government, he's looking at America. Why are you people so pissed off? Well, they're probably pissed off for the same reason that the American government or American Democrats are pissed off. That money trail that he's found, that he's following, it leads to them too. You see, he was never going to be their pedestal standing electric vehicle guy. He was a means to an end. And now that, you've gotten too close, you're so close to the target, climate change doesn't matter anymore. Just imagine, that's been a religion. What's her name? Greta Thunberg. Rallies, save the whales, eat the whales, whatever you want to say. You people were all about climate change till about, 60 days ago. And now it's never in the news. Nobody talks about it. It doesn't matter. The only target right now is taking down Elon Musk. Why? How did your existential threat, how did the thing that mattered to you most in the world finally just get pushed off to the wayside because he's looking at theft and money laundering? It tells you two things. It tells you, number one, climate change was never a real thing. It was just a tool to weaponize government, take more funding, steal more money. That's all it was. You now know today, no matter what happens going forward, they have proved that climate change is a hoax. It can't go back to that. Number two, I guess it's number two. Second thing is, now you know we were funding so many countries overseas, wherever they may be, to the point where they dropped everything they held dear. We don't give a crap about climate change. You cut off our money. And you told Donald Trump and everybody where to look and where this money is, and now we got to take you out. We got to do whatever we can to remove you from the equation, because the unhinged way that they're looking at this is telling you it's not about climate change. The existential threat has now been neutralized. Don't worry about it anymore. He's the existential threat. He and that guy Trump, those two are public enemy number one. Those are the two things that we have to worry about as the world. No longer is it climate change. We got to take down Elon, and we got to take down Donald Trump. That's what matters most at this point. He's going to talk about it.
Yes, it is remarkable that there is so much violence. People have burnt cars, they've fired bullets into dealerships, they've scratched swastikas into Teslas of innocent people they're just going about their lives. They've done nothing wrong. And Tesla's done nothing wrong as a company. And so I find it ironic and incredibly hypocritical that the same Democrat politicians who would want to throw someone in prison for 20 years simply for watching things at January 6th, but not actually doing any violence, you don't hear a single word from them about the actual violence happening against Tesla. What incredible hypocrites they are. It's outrageous. This is fundamentally a case of terrorism. It's wide-scale domestic terrorism with the purpose of intimidation, and it's harming innocent people. It's really terrible. And I think what we actually have to get to are the people who are organizing and paying for these attacks and protests. That's who we really need to go after, because the people who are actually throwing the Molotov cocktails, they are the foot soldiers. Right. But we need to go after the generals, and we're going to do so. The president has made it very clear that we're going to go after those that are paying and organizing these violent attacks. And Attorney General Bondi has said the same thing. I believe that is exactly what will happen.
Do you know who they are?
We're coming for them.
Do you know who those generals are?
We know. We do.
Yes.
So, go back to what I said earlier, where something happens and it gets pushed to the side because something bigger happens. So this is the first time we've heard, and it came directly out of Elon's mouth himself, we know who's doing this. We know who's funding it. We know who's conceptualizing all these different protests. They now know. And then here it is, April 1st, and just today, that's the first time I've actually heard confirmation that we know who's doing all of this. So just put yourself, you've seen it on TV. They bring in the guy and they say, hey, we're going to arrest you for doing this or that. And then that guy goes, wait a second, I got to cut a deal. You got a deal for me? Incidentally, a guy got arrested yesterday, a nobody, and Pam Bondi did a video and said, we're going to put you away for 20 years. What do you think his attorney did today? Just saying. All of a sudden, this snowflake that's burning stuff and beating up stuff and keying stuff. Hey, I didn't know I was going to go to jail for 20 years for this. Well, now you do. What do you got for me? Who signed you up? What they tell you to do? How'd they get you the money? How did you pick it up? And just think, again, not being a cop, not understanding law enforcement, but all the things you can begin to unravel. Okay, you were sent money. Okay, so we're going to trace this. We're going to find out what bank it came from, whose account it came from, what NGO, who's running this NGO, how did this NGO start, how much money did they get from USAID, over and over and over. And that, again, and then that takes a whole bunch of manpower, because everybody's now got to find out, where the hell did this come from? And she's only been in office, a couple of weeks.
And hopefully the prosecution will be for RICO and an organized criminal enterprise, which makes the penalties even more serious. And now to Jessica.
Yes, absolutely. These are serious crimes where the organizers and pushers of mass violence will go to prison for a very long time.
That's right. Okay.
And I hope they see this segment.
So he's looking in the camera, stirring. They're laughing. He wasn't laughing. I hope you see this segment. We're coming for you. We know who you are. That would terrify me if I was involved in this stuff. Because now you know that the richest man in the world's got your number. And there's nothing you can do to stop the richest man in the world from coming after you. He's got unlimited resources. Whatever the DOJ can't do, he's probably got private detectives digging and digging and digging and digging into whoever's been doing this stuff. And he's like, we're coming for you. Ooh, that would give you chills.
You said the other day you uncovered some evidence that there was massive Social Security fraud and that arrests were imminent. Yes. What can you tell us about that? And what can you tell us about what you've seen politicians do to make massive amounts of money off of the federal government, like Nancy Pelosi? Please.
Yes. So we've encountered. There's really so much for it. It's deciding what should be prosecuted first, because it's such a long list. You have to actually prioritize the list. We convey the list to the Department of Justice. The DOJ has a process that they go through to review and think about it. The wheels of justice turn slowly. In fact, obviously, I have a maniacal sense of urgency. So to me, when I see that terrible fraud has happened, I'm like, why haven't we arrested someone already? But as the saying goes, the wheels of justice turn slowly but surely. And I think probably the person that stole 400,000 Social Security numbers, at least, maybe more, will be arrested hopefully this week. With respect to the
well, that's a change. This was at the 5 tonight, so that was said at about 5:15 or so. this week. It went from today to being this week. So he just explained to you basically what I said. There's so much stuff. So the lists are so big. They're digging into so many things. They're making sure that every T is crossed, every I is dotted. Give Pam a break here. Give Kash Patel a break. I just want you to really dwell on that. That every time they open one door, there's 1,000 monsters in there. And then you're like, well, all this? Yeah, this is what you got to deal with. And there's no way they would have known this because nobody was looking before Elon started looking. And so, just imagine, 400,000 Social Security numbers stolen. And having to track that. Where were they used? Were they paid? Where were they paid to? I mean, I can sit here, I could probably go for about 30 to 60 seconds just with the questions I would go just from those 400,000 Social Security numbers. Remember, yesterday when he had Antonio on, they were talking about 2 million were stolen. And so, yeah, he can write an algorithm to check deposits and what do you call it, direct deposits, where did the money go, who got it, how often, how many times. That's a lot of data. This is a complex scheme that was put on the American people, and it didn't start yesterday. It wasn't like 3 guys got in a room and said, you know what, I got an idea how we can rip off the federal government. And the other guy goes, what do you want to do? Let's make Social Security numbers. Oh, that sounds cool. What do we do next? This is something that's been going on for probably decades. And so as soon as you open that closet door, all those monsters in the back of that closet are sitting there, staring at you. Just think that to yourself next time you see something where somebody says, Bonnie's not doing anything. And you're like, man, give her a break. We are seeing the dismantling of an incredibly massive criminal enterprise that spans the globe. Just let that sink in. This isn't some guy who's stuck up a 7-Eleven. Hey, give me the money. Okay, and check the video and we got him. We're talking about a global criminal enterprise that has been working for probably decades. And here comes Pam Bondi and Kash. I'm like, what the hell did we get into?
Non-governmental organizations, these sort of fake NGOs, I think there needs to be a number of arrests in that regard as well, because these are fake charities where mostly Democrats, almost, well, I don't want to go through there's sometimes a little bit of Republican in there because they sometimes throw the Republicans a bone to say, hey, be quiet about this. So that's where you start getting the uniparty thing going on. Mm-hmm. But it is overwhelmingly to Democrats, and they give these give billions of dollars to NGOs run by Democrats that then go through a whole network of additional NGOs. It's a giant money laundering scheme. Really, at this point, I think the word NGO and money laundering are almost synonymous.
Money laundering and NGO are almost synonymous. So now I want to take you again to look at the largesse of this. There was one estimate we saw that said there were something like 50,000 NGOs. There was another one that showed that there may be as many as 1 million NGOs. So whoever the mastermind was at the top of this apex who said we're going to create this thing and steal from Americans, whoever that criminal mastermind was, could never have dreamed all the different webs and pieces of it that they've been able to put together. And it just kept growing and growing and growing and growing and growing. And they would get some stupid person to, run BLM. Hey, you want to do something? You want to do Black Lives Matter? Okay, set up this corporation, do this. We'll give you $10 million. Wow, that's pretty cool. What do you want me to do? I want you to save the weather vanes on top of New York buildings. And that's going to be your NGO. They're going to give you $5 or $10 million. Wow, okay. Think I'm joking? If you saw some of these names, the Democracy for Brothers, the Democracy for Sisters, just stupid stuff. Just getting paid. Money's just going like this. non-ending supply of money. Why is it non-ending? Because if they needed more, they just printed it. You're the federal government. You're in charge of the money. Nobody is watching you. Print some more. Just keep going. Print it. Send it up to the BLM group. Send it off to the George Floyd NGO. Send it all over the place. And then you own all these people. All these people you've seen so far. I don't know how many BLM people got arrested who've gone to jail for living high in the hog mansions and everything else. They got stupid. You guys seen the movie Goodfellas? You know, pre-idiot Robert De Niro. Hey man, don't buy anything. What do you mean? What are you walking in here with a fur coat and a new Cadillac? Don't buy anything. Sit on it. They're gonna pinch you. When you find out you're doing this and you ain't got no way to show that you got the money, they're gonna get you. And what did the BLM people do? Go out and buy mansions. And be like, how the hell do you have a mansion? Stupid. And so they got caught. But there's a million of them. And they're all over the place. And they all got your money. And right about now, they're kind of freaked out because they're wondering for the knock on the door. And it's coming. You can bet it's coming. I would not want to be these people at this point, which is why they're freaking out the way they're freaking out. And Elon said something else that you always have to keep remembering. Yeah, there's been some Republicans who have been told to keep quiet and do what we tell you. And those people are going to fight like cats and dogs because they can't be exposed. And so I myself, after seeing all this take place, I have a newfound understanding of what Pam Bondi must be going through. What Kash Patel, and never mind, when you see all the grift and you see all the things that are happening, then you got to wonder, who in my office is part of this? How do I know I can trust that person or that person?
In 0.1 miles, turn right.
Can you imagine?
Calm your mind. You're doing great.
I don't know if this is bugged. I don't know if there's a camera somewhere. I don't know if somebody came in last night and, put a camera under my desk. I don't know if the person who's making coffee, I don't know if the coffee room has... I couldn't even imagine.
Turn right.
Am I being far-fetched? No, because this is the biggest criminal enterprise ever. Every TV show, every movie you've ever seen compacted into one doesn't make up this scheme. This is the biggest thing ever. And you got really two people.
Turn right.
Donald Trump.
Open your mind.
And Elon Musk.
There's so much the world can offer.
That's
in
it.
0.1 miles. Make a U-turn.
Who do you trust? Yeah,
Sometimes you just need to retrace your steps. Make a U-turn. Sometimes you just need to retrace your steps.
And now everything that you've
in
heard
0.1 miles, make a U-turn.
To the Department of Justice. And you have no idea. I mean, these
make a U-turn. Sometimes you just need to retrace your steps.
You'd never know. You don't know who's going through your computer.
Turn right.
You have to change
and then turn right.
Because someone's got a keystroke on your computer.
Turn right.
Think about it. There's
and then turn right.
Pick up your cell phone.
Turn right.
They log in there.
Open your mind.
So,
there's so much the world can offer. Turn right.
Because otherwise,
and then
you could be
turn left.
By somebody else on your team. That's crazy, absolutely crazy. I stopped. I think it's run out of the EU. Maybe that could be. I stopped paying taxes in SSI 35 years ago. I wouldn't tell people that. They start checking your IP. Worse than Al Capone getting caught. Yeah, this is this is all those spy movies put together. No, there's no author. Nobody, not Robert Ludlum, not Tom Clancy, none of these people could have come up with this, because it would be unbelievable. Hey, here's what we're going to do. We're going to steal money from the United States government, and we're going to have 1 million NGOs, and we're going to whack people we don't want to know, and we're going to move billions all over the place, and then we're going to tell Wally the Nigerian, just pay everything. Can you imagine that job? Has anybody checked on Wally? Because Wally might be in trouble at this point, but then again, he never looked at any of the invoices, so he's probably good. He's like, nah, I don't know who was getting paid. They just told me just keep hitting the button. I just kept hitting the button, and that was it. Yeah, at that meeting in Wisconsin, he said to tell Soros hello. He did. All right, so some of you guys know who this next guy. He's an author. He's been on all over the place. And I want you to hear what he has to say, because Scott Adams is somebody who I used to watch a lot. Then I drew away from him because he kind of got on the fringe. And now I like watching people when they go, I was wrong. And they start talking about things. Check this out.
This was in a poll on Musk, and say that now 50% of the people they polled now view Musk unfavorably, including 41% with a very unfavorable opinion. That's basically the 41%. That's basically just Democrats. So look how quickly the Democrats can change their opinion of Elon Musk if the top tells them to change it. They're pure NPCs. They were just told to change their mind, and they did. And they'll just forget everything he's doing for the country. Imagine being in his head. Imagine being Elon Musk. You're the richest person in the world, and the first thing you have to worry about is that money will become useless. Because if the U.S. debt crushes the country, his billions of dollars aren't going to be worth much.
That's one thing I have said many, many times. When I'm watching these idiots on CNN and the other idiots on MSNBC or NBC or ABC or CBS, these people making gazillion-dollar salaries, and they're attacking President Trump. They're attacking every move they make. They're attacking America. You can tell they don't like the American people. And I say to myself often, how do you think you're going to be safe if America goes down? If America goes down, the $20 million that Fox News paid you, or the $10 million that MSNBC paid you, or $20 million to like Rachel Maddow, what do you think that's going to be worth? If there is no solvent America, you're just like everybody else. You're going to find out very, very quickly how people can turn into things can turn into anarchy almost overnight. When people can't eat, when they're thirsty, and they've got nothing, you think they're coming for you. And so it may seem nice right now. I've got a doorman downstairs. I'm fine. I'm sitting up here in my penthouse looking over Fifth Avenue. Everything's fine. I'm not like these other people until you're like these other people. Until all of a sudden you go in and you log on your account in the morning and there's nothing there. Because if they get their way and they go to CBDC, central bank digital currency, they're not going to go just for, certain people. You've seen they need to fund this machine. You're not going to have a network. You're not going to have a limo. You're not going to have private security. Definitely not armed private security. It all goes away. It's almost as though Elon is the only one, well, not the only one, but one of the few billionaires who's like, wait a minute, I see what's going to happen here. I won't be able to sell any Teslas. I won't be able to do anything. If America goes down, we might as well start, hunting. I've never understood how these people don't see that they're being useful idiots. You're not going to enjoy that life you think you enjoy. It's not going to be there. You're not going to be able to go to Elaine's or Tiffany's. There's nothing there. And I'm thinking to myself, don't these people realize how close to a thread they were to losing their livelihoods if Kamala Harris had won? I'm just wondering sometimes what people think. They're not going to, carve something out and you're going to be okay. And then if they did, what do you think about all of us? You don't think we'll be scaling buildings and kicking in doors to eat? I can tell you how I get if I don't have lunch. I can't imagine if I ain't had lunch for a couple of days and no dinner. And then worse, if you're a man, and then your wife, or if you have children at home, you're looking at them and they haven't eaten for 2 or 3 days. You know what happens next. We are this close. We are this close from full-on anarchy. And that's what they've been importing. They've been importing people who've lived that way for years. Hey man, this is pretty good. I remember there's an old joke by Eddie Murphy, and he said it in the stand-up routine. He goes, America's a great country. If you're hungry and you have a gun, you're going to eat. It's that simple. But there are people in Mexico and some of the people they brought over here that even having a gun didn't help them. There was nothing to eat. The stores were empty. So you're telling me there are stores here and they're open like till 10 or 11 o'clock at night? Yeah. And so I could just walk in and do what I need to do and we're going to eat? Yeah. Oh, thanks. This is a great country you guys got here. What do you think would happen as this thing went off the rails? I don't think enough people think about that. I know you do because you prayed and you know what's going to happen.
So he could go from richest person in the country to, well, we're all just struggling to become cannibals and eat each other, which is sort of the alternative. So he's got the most to lose. But also, he's got the only plan to save the country, and he's taking remarkable risks. I mean, he's got all kinds of death threats. His Tesla's being attacked. He might never be able to recover. He might never be able to just go in public. He probably could never eat at a restaurant again. I mean, the level of risk he's taking on is extraordinary. And he's doing it for primarily the benefit of the country. And if you look at all the other stuff he does, they're clearly designed for the benefit of the country, but they also make money. Now, in this case, it's more for the benefit of the country. I don't see how he's going to make money, except in the way we all would make money if the country stays in business. So
I didn't like that he said that, if. So, I saw somebody in the chat said, Barry, relax. Yeah, don't get yourself worked up. Seriously, bro? This isn't fantasy world. These people are playing to the end. They're playing to the death. I'm not getting myself worked up because I know I've been pretty good and prudent in making sure we're okay. I also live in Florida. I don't know where you live. Like I've said it many times, if you live in Florida or even someplace else where there's an ocean, you're probably going to be able to eat. There's this big thing out there with water, and lots of fish are out there. So if you don't like fish, you might be in trouble. But there's fish in the water, there's fruit on the trees. People down here are going to survive. The ones who know what to do. I see it all the time. I'll just be driving and there'll be people fishing standing on a bridge somewhere. And I'm thinking to myself, there's someone who's like, you know what, maybe I can't afford to go to the grocery store, but I'm going to catch some dinner tonight. So no, I'm not freaked out. My job, I believe, is to let you guys know you need
Turn
to get
left.
prepared. We talked about this
Just like you've done 1,000 times before. And then turn right.
Go get a meal. You're not going to be able to go get a meal depending on how things go. This is that serious. I'm not being hyperbolic or over dramatic. There's a lot of people with a lot of money and power at stake. People get whacked for a lot less than what we're seeing go on. Get your head out of your butt.
I think that doing what he's doing to save the country, in the context of the Democrats fantasizing that he's doing the opposite, is one of the bravest, most highest character thing I'll ever see in my life. Because generally, at least the people you're trying to save like you. If a ship goes over and, you pull up and you're saving people out of the water, they don't hate you, do they? Do half of the people you pull out of the water and you save their life, do they hate you? No. Generally speaking, when you're saving people's lives, and that's what he's doing, he's saving the lives of Americans. We're all going to fucking die if the debt isn't controlled and fast.
Yes, tell him, Scott, very emphatically, there is no other option. You guys know who manage your own household. You know you just can't keep spending with no income. Because eventually, there's nothing left. Then there's no more money to even pay off the creditors. And that's when they start coming and taking cars and putting notices on the front door and telling you, get out in 20 days or whatever it is where you live. There's no turning back when it falls apart. And maybe that's why I love Florida so much, because there are certain protections inherent to living in Florida. In addition to fishing and everything else, they got what's called down here homesteading, where creditors can't take your homes. Ron DeSantis just recently, in the last couple of days, is installing or trying to install no property tax, no real estate taxes, or very minimal real estate taxes. We got no sales tax. We got no income tax here. So the only tax we pay is to the federal government. That's it. and so by doing that, we have a small sales tax, 6%, 7%, depending on what you buy. I love the way he's setting things up. And Florida at this point is becoming the business model for smart politicians. Not the nuts in California, which I'll show you today. They're still doing their woke stuff and going broke. But understand, I believe Randy Fine won his race tonight, which is going to further cement that Florida is a red state, which means a lot of people are going to want to come down here. Actually, somebody said Randy Fine in Florida, his sixth district has won. So that being said, we're going to be okay down here. Plus, everyone's walking around with pew-pews. So good luck with that crazy stuff. Yeah, let's continue.
He is the only mechanism that can do that. Let me say it again. We're all going to fucking die. That's how bad it is. We're all going to fucking die. He's saving the country, and they're trying to kill him. Now that is pure evil. Pure evil. And I'm a lot disappointed. I'm a lot disappointed that the Department of Justice hasn't already put the boot on this. Now, I don't know what tools they have, but they got tools. I mean, clearly there's some way to shut this down. And if not, I don't know how ugly it's going to get, but it's not going to get better.
We are paying. That's something we all have to understand and be prepared for. This stuff has to stop. I'm giving Pam Bondi and Cash and Dan Bongino the full faith at this point. Get it done. Don't wait. But if we go into 2026 or 2027 and this stuff is still festering, we're in big trouble. We're in big trouble. So I hope that he can go ahead and get it taken care of. He, meaning Cash Patel, and then of course with his associate Dan Bongino, and also with Pam Bondi. And we talk about Pam Bondi a lot, but she's not going to get it done by herself. So she needs a huge staff, And what Scott said that's so important, and I want you to remember what's happening over in Europe and how they're all freaked out. And it has nothing to do with climate change or global warming. They have put their patron saint of climate change, and they're looking to rip his head off. So now you know your money has been going to so many countries. You've been propping up so many governments, and then they take out the government when they don't need it anymore. But it's been this festering boil that the United States has put together, and now we're all beginning to see it. These countries may fall. It may turn into Armageddon in some of these countries. You're seeing what's happening in France. They put Marie Le Pen in jail, and she was supposed to be the next person in line. Desperation is taking over, because at this point, the leaders in these areas realize they're not leading anything. It was being led by here. They were installed to do what they were supposed to do. Now that they can't get any money from the United States, what are you leading? And then tomorrow, with Liberation Day, good luck. Good luck. When Trump says, hey, we're going to tariff you 200%. We're going to tariff you 50%. You're going to see people scream bloody murder tomorrow, including our United States media. They have to. Whoever's told them what they need to do is giving them information right now to let them know, go do what you need to do to just destroy Trump and Musk. But as you're seeing every single day, these two guys seem completely undeterred. They're moving straight ahead. All right, so take a listen to this about Lear Capital, and I will be right back. As you know, President Trump has assembled the Avengers to make America great again. And of course, we're all excited and ready to see them get to work. But with everything we're seeing right now, don't take your eye off the ball. Things could get much worse before they get better. With the possibility of World War III still looming, and with the Democrats doing everything they can to impede Trump, you still need to keep your guard up and your money protected. Oh, and our national debt is still massively increasing. Don't get me wrong, I have high hopes for Trump's America, but I also have a family to look out for. You see, Trump and the Avengers have quite the uphill battle ahead. That's why I'm making sure I'm protected, and I'm recommending that you do the same. One way to be protected is by diversifying your portfolio. That's why on this channel I've been happy to partner with Lear Capital, and it appears that in addition to Fine winning in Florida, Jimmy Patronis wins and will be the next congressman for Florida's 1st district, replacing Matt Gaetz. Yet another massive victory for President Trump tonight. That's now 2 more votes in the House for Trump's agenda. So, with that being said, with Fine winning and with Patronis winning, that's two seats, 2 more votes. Well, actually, they already had 2 votes, but that was Matt Gaetz' seat. Maybe it'll offset if something doesn't go right in Wisconsin, which we shall hear later on. I want to show you something that Elon Musk posted. And he didn't even post any words. And maybe by not posting any words, a clear message is being sent. So let's take a look at what he posted here. That's Elon Musk with John Ratcliffe. No words. That's all he posted. In the center, right at the CIA. I like messages. I think a lot of people give out coded messages. I'm pretty sure that's a message. I'm pretty sure he's telling some people, we're about to dig in. And because we're about to dig in, we are going to find a lot of information. This is where the deep state really freaks out. And by the way, Randy Fine, you know how they were saying it was supposed to be close? Oh, it wasn't close at all. I mean, man, this is pretty interesting. Randy Fine won 53 to 45, 53.7. So he won by over 8 points. It was supposed to be a close race, and we're worried. And as Benny put here, the Democrats put $10 million against his opponent, and he got blown out. I mean, it's not even close. Blown out, completely blown out. That's kind of what I was thinking. I was wondering, how in the hell is Wisconsin even close? Are we being lied to? Are they cheating? I don't know. Something doesn't make any sense with this. Nothing. None of it makes any sense. There shouldn't be any close races. These people are nuts. Well, at least you now know that in Florida, we got our crap together. We know what we want down here. A blowout victory. You gotta love that. Absolutely love it. So, I want you to hear this piece by, Glenn Beck.
People who came here illegally, we're giving them Social Security. When our old people can't afford to eat, we're just giving this away to people who are here illegally. That's crazy. Crazy. So, we don't survive as a nation without some accountability and without some common ground. And I don't know, again, when did it become okay to cheer or jeer for somebody who's stopping corruption in our government?
In addition to that, when did it become okay? When did people begin to cheer for the bad guys like this? When you know they're stealing your money. when you see it every single day, and you got Democrats protesting the person who's finding the theft. There were 200 protests around the country about Elon, and they're pissed off because they called him a fascist, a Nazi, and all kinds of things. And I'm thinking to myself, do you understand what a fascist is? Those of you here probably do. You know what a Nazi is. The Nazis and the fascists were people who took their ideology and said there was to be no dissent. There is to be no voice. He's giving people voices with Twitter, X. He bought it, put out $44 billion of his own money just so we could talk freely. That's one really, really bad fascist. It would be just the opposite. Hey, I'm going to spend $44 billion and I'm going to turn it off. I don't want people talking. That's what a fascist would do. A fascist wouldn't be trying to help the space program and send rockets up like an Uber and pick up people who are in trouble. A fascist wouldn't be doing all this. Definitely not a Nazi. He's not looking to harm anybody. But there's people in the street calling him a fascist. It's like they never took history. They don't understand it's become a word that they just want to use. And so the people who were saying in the comments, Barry, don't get yourself worked up. I'm not worked up. I'm just telling you. I'm trying to show you information. And obviously, I'm not the only one seeing this. Many people are now looking at this with a side eye and going, something ain't right here. You're calling the person who's trying to give you freedom. You're calling the person who's trying to unshackle your debt. You're calling the person who's trying to allow you to have more opportunity. Man, that's one really bad fascist. You see, he wouldn't be doing that if he was a fascist. And there are certain people, many people, full disclosure, I am one, who get checks from this fascist. And I don't mean like sponsorship, something like that, but you guys know that X has a monetization program, just like YouTube has a monetization program. And he didn't say, you're black, you can't have any. Nope, didn't get that message. What a horrible, racist, Nazi fascist. There are many people in the media who are Jewish. And these people have big platforms. Millions of followers. Probably making 6 figures a month on X. And this guy is allowing some of these Jewish media people to make that kind of money? Man, he's got to be the worst Nazi and fascist you've ever met. It just seems completely implausible. Don't you get it, people? You have been bamboozled. You're being run by fascists, and you think the other guy who's trying to get you out of your Stockholm syndrome, you're calling him a fascist.
It'd be okay. I mean, how did we get here? How do we get to the point to where people actually cheer the idea of our government secretly and denying it, if you ask them, giving taxpayer-funded benefits like Social Security to millions of people who are here illegally? And most people don't even blink now. How did we forget politics, forget red team, blue team. Just let me say this. Just ask yourself this question. If the people you trusted the least were doing this, would you be okay with it? That's to my side. Would you be okay with it? I would be fine if you had an Elon Musk in there doing this. Be totally fine. And exposing all of this? Yep. It's not a gotcha. It's a principle. It's critical thinking. Would you be okay? You know, critical thinking really needs to make a comeback. Because when we stop thinking critically, we start defending nonsense because our side is doing it. And we lose some.
You see that happening? When you stop critically thinking. I watched a video today by someone who works for the ACLU who is absolutely livid because somebody said that men can't get pregnant. Was livid. And I'm thinking, just like Glenn said, anybody out here doing any critical thinking? Are you wondering what you're watching? Yeah. What part of what I just said isn't true? And then he said, these aren't people, actually said it, these people aren't playing as the other sex. They are the other sex. You are cosplaying. I have a mind. I have a critical mind. I can think. And I don't have to have someone wave the little thing in front of me and try to trick me. Nope. Twig and berries? No twig and berries. It is that simple. And even if you lop off your twig or your berries, it's still something that was supposed to be there. So it's on you if you snip. But it doesn't make you that. You know why I know that? Because I can think critically. And I know all the facts, and I'm like, well, no, you can't bamboozle me. You can't. You're not going to trick me into thinking this is this. It's not going to happen. That's why they're having so many problems. They're like, you don't understand. No, I don't. I don't understand why you'd be trying to motivate me or incentivize me or trick me into thinking this is this, when I can look and go, that's that. Don't let them do that to you. You have to critically think. Absolutely.
Think bigger than an argument. We lose trust, we lose connection, we lose the ability to have any kind of honest conversations with the people that we love. So how do you talk to your friends and your family who just don't seem to see what we see? Well, it doesn't start with confrontation. It starts with curiosity, which brings us to questions you can ask. You ask them, can we just look at this as if we didn't know who was in office?
Yeah, so he's going to break down a few questions, just like I've been telling you. It's very simple. Don't get angry. Just hey, can I ask you a couple questions? Yeah, okay. Let's talk. We're here. You want a beer? Let's get a beer. We'll sit down. We'll talk about this. I understand you feel different. Can I ask you a couple questions? And I've given you questions before. Here's a couple questions Glenn tells you.
Because then we can find our principles. Would you still feel like this was okay? What's the limiting principle here? If this is allowed for the government to deny that they're doing this, but give all of this money, all of these benefits to people who are here illegally while denying they're doing it, and it's not within the bounds of the law, if we can just do this now, is there any limiting principle? What can't we do? What happens to a country when the law no longer means what it says? Don't accuse. We just need to start inviting people to answer these questions.
Yes. That's what I keep saying. When people say, why do you have this guest on, or why are you talking? Because you have to. They're never going to make it back. They're done. You're going to have walking zombies across the town unless somehow we can reach out to these people and go, you understand, this is this. That is that. Those two things are mutually exclusive. You understand it, don't you? Because if we let the cosplay continue, if we let it degenerate to the point, I don't know, I'll tell you this, if we let it degenerate to the point where this becomes normal, hold on, let me tell you, when this becomes normal, we are definitely in trouble. We are in such trouble that there's no way back. Let me find what I posted today. Yes, this is it. If this is normal, when we are so desensitized that we're at the point where that's normal, that we just accept it. Well, that's just how they. No, I need to have a conversation with you. We need to talk about this. Hey, Fred, do you see what's going on here? And Fred will say, yeah, I see what's going on here. There's some dude, and he looks like he's trying to act like a dog. Yeah. And there's people clapping. I don't want to applaud that. And so then I would ask Fred, are you okay with that? Well, they're just living their life. They're living their best life. They're just doing what they can do. Where do you think that leads, Fred? I mean, I remember when we were in school, and they're like, Barry, don't smoke this, because if you smoke this, it might lead to this. Don't do this, because it might lead to that. And you were told, you were warned, don't go there. What they call it, gateway, this might lead to this. And then if you're smoking this, You might end up looking like Scarface. Be careful. You're opening that door. Whoa. What door is that opening? What door do you think that opens if that becomes commonplace? I mean, I have to write that down because I might have to delete it because the guys upstairs might think, I'm not understanding the alternative lifestyle, which I don't want to understand. But we have to be able to talk to people. Maybe not the dude, maybe not the dude with kneeling down, but maybe some people in the audience. Hey, man, you okay with this, or you just go hang out with some friends? I mean, you didn't. I didn't see you in the outfit, so you okay with this? Gotta have these conversations. It's unhealthy to look away from that. We're compelled as Christians. Y'all need some help. I'll try 3 times, and I come back with bloody nubs because you chewed off my hand, essentially because you're a dog. But I gotta try, man. I can't walk by that and go, hey, can I talk to you for a second? Yeah. What in the hell are you people doing? No, I don't want to do it that way because then they're going to turn around and get pissed off. Hey, what is it that this is accomplishing? Why do you like this? What does it do for you? We got to talk to people before it's too late.
For their mind. Because deep down, most people do not want to be hypocrites. They don't. And that's the conflict that they're having in their head right now. Okay? They want to be consistent. They want to be fair. But sometimes they just need a little help connecting the dots. So what they'll say is, well, Trump did. You just stop them right there. It's not about Trump. It's about policy and principles right now. Can we judge this on its own merit? The dishonest ones will end the conversation there. And they'll want to just go back into the outrage machine.
You have a message.
Yeah. Because we can't see our neighbors as enemies just because they see the world differently. But
I don't know if Glenn's been watching my shows or what, because I've been telling you that. The crazy ones will degenerate after 1 or 2 questions and not want to talk to you. They'll want nothing to do with you. Yeah, you're going to look like something out of Night of the Zombies. But somebody, somewhere, if you can find a way to use that honey to attract them. And it's like, hey, man, hey, how you doing? How'd the Knicks do last night? The Cowboys don't look good in the draft this year. Yeah, you still dressing up in a dog suit, bro? See, I get you talking. I'm like, I didn't accuse you. I'm just like, you still dressing up like a dog? Yeah. Why? Then let him talk. And whatever comes out of his mouth, be ready for it. Even if he likes Alpo.
First step to helping each other is ask honest questions. Have the courage to listen to their answer. Not be thinking, oh, good, they said that, so I can say. Just listen, even when it makes you really uncomfortable.
Glenn, I know you must be watching my show now. I know you're a big media guy, but you must have a producer watching my stuff. Because that's exactly how I feel. And I've said it many a times. Even if it makes your stomach turn, pretend like it doesn't. Oh, really? So you like dressing up as a dog and sniffing other guys' butts, right? Yeah, it's pretty cool. How'd you get into that? What happened? How do you just like one day decide, you know what? I'm going to be dog man. And I want to dress up like a dog and, sniff people's crotches. How does that happen? What led you to that? How did you start? Did you start as a puppy? If you weren't a puppy, how did you get into the full-fledged dog? I'm being facetious, but I would probably say that. I'm like, did you start as a puppy? And why did you pick a German Shepherd? You didn't like labs? Because maybe I'd get somebody laughing at that point. I'm thinking, oh my God, what do I do here? Pray. Okay, what do I say next, Lord? Because I'm in deep here.
Because we have to find our way back to truth. We have to find our way back to the actual law. We have to find our way back to logic, because it's not political. It's just about right and wrong. And if we can't do this, then the fight isn't about left versus right anymore. It honestly isn't even about good and evil. It's about sane versus the insane.
Where do you draw the line?
We're going to get to that in a second. Yes, it's between sane and insane. Insane in the membrane. And at this point, more and more people are seeing this isn't normal. It's beyond evil at this point. These people need help. So if you had a relative, and if you've ever had a relative who's had some serious issues, I'm sure you tried to talk to that person and get them on the straight and narrow. You may not have been prepared. You may have not known what words to say. God knows I don't. I'm not perfect. I have no idea how to help somebody out of being a dog. But I would have to find someone who did. Hey man, I got this friend, right? Yeah. He thinks he's a Labrador retriever. You ever dealt with them? Yes, I've dealt with them. What did you do? Well, you had to talk to him. I don't know what to say. Can you come with me? We're going to go meet my buddy. We're going to play some paddle ball. And he's going to be running around the court grabbing after the balls because he thinks he's a Labrador retriever. But could you talk to him? Yeah, I could talk to him. Bring somebody with you. Bring reinforcements. Do like a little intervention. Bring some Alpo or something, some milk bones in case the doggy needs to be calmed down. Because it's crazy out there. This is insane we're dealing with. These are people who are looking at the man who brought them to the promised land of global warming, and they're trashing his stuff because they don't like the fact that he's trying to find out who stole the cheese. It doesn't make any sense. It's insanity. We are beyond good and evil at this point. These people may do evil things, but the things that are causing them to do evil things are that they're bat poop crazy. Yeah. It's hard. I understand it's hard. I understand most of us are not trained to deal with this, but then we need to bring some other people because these people still get to vote. Many of them still breed and have kids. And you just think to yourself, you're going to have kids? Are they going to be puppies? Or are you going to actually have a boy and a girl? Oh, there's no such thing as a boy and a girl. So even if you had puppies, what are they? I can't even go there. And I'm making fun of it, really making light, because other than that, I'd probably start crying. I don't know what to say to somebody like that. And so I'll talk to my pastor. Hey, man, my pastor probably like, what? Because I doubt he has seen stuff like that. I mean, he's been involved in sex trafficking and human trafficking and helping to counsel girls who are coming back. And I can't imagine, Pastor, I got to talk to you about something. Oh, yeah. My boy Louie, he thinks he's a Labrador retriever. And like, there is nothing that God can't do except if it's broken. Yeah, God can fix anything, but oh my goodness, I wouldn't even know how to go there. Do you know how to go there? I'm sorry. It's absolutely crazy. Let me take some comments here. Take a break. Oh, this is funny. Bear, did you make Robin mad or she kicked you out of the house? I'm just wondering, you've had the same shirt for the last couple of days. Okay, so here's what's going on with the shirt and the shirt style, not the exact same shirt. I've been looking and I bought a whole bunch of more shirts and as I'm getting ready to do a lot of cuts in videos and post those videos the next day or day later and trying to keep some continuity, I started falling in and looking at some stuff that Steve Jobs said. And Steve Jobs, who I have read quite a bit about, has said, make your wardrobe the least amount of thought that you have to have. And if you ever look at Steve Jobs, he always had a long sleeve black shirt on. Almost every time you see him in public, he had a long sleeve black shirt on. Because with everything I have to do, he said, I don't want to think about getting dressed. And if you look at a lot of people in that realm, Zuckerberg, same way. People just like, you know what? I want to open a closet and I want to have 8 of these shirts and that's what I'm wearing. I don't ever have to think about it. And so that's what Barry's doing. Barry's getting to the point where all the shirts are going to look exactly like this or very similar to this because I don't have time to think about what am I going to wear today? Does this one catch my... No. We're going to be uniform. I've got another one back there. And Robin said, is this what you want to do? And I'm like, yeah, what do you think? She's like, it makes sense. I can rotate them out at the dry cleaners. We can be ready, but you always look the same so that you can just talk. I don't have to worry about it anymore. Albert Einstein had 7 outfits, all identical. I never knew that. Never knew that. Oh yeah, somebody has said Benny wears the same black shirt every single day. No Gaji says that's why I only wear black t-shirts and blue jeans. I don't want the thought. I'm not a fashionista. I'm not modeling anything. Those days are beyond. Oh, well, I never did, but you get the point. It's the Dodgers colors. But yeah, Betty wears, there's a lot of people. I mean, some people like to wear button-down shirts. Tucker Carlson wears often the same thing. Yeah. Yeah, so it's just, it's a conversation right now, but, you know, in the future you're going to know, and you've gotten used to seeing Benny in a black shirt, and you're probably used to seeing Steve Jobs, you're probably used to seeing Mark Zuckerberg, you're probably... Just what you do when you don't need an extra thing to think about. And I don't need an extra thing to think about whatsoever. Thank you guys for saying I look good, fine job. Barry, I love your white shirt with the blue trim. I think the other ones are going to be white with black trim. We get, we'll see. Yeah, don't worry, my wife shops for me too. she's I wouldn't know what to do if it was her. I mean, doing this many hours per day, 2 hours, 3 hours in the day, 2 or 3 hours at night. Sometimes by the time I'm off here, she goes to sleep. And when I get off, she's got food waiting for me. I couldn't do it without her. Couldn't do it without her. It gets to a point where I miss her. And, you know, if I don't do a night show, that means I want to spend time with her. It's more important at this point. So if you don't see me at night, I will always post. But, you know, if she wants to go out to dinner or you know, do the wifey thing, then I'm like, hey man, gotta go. All right, so let's continue with something. I want to play this because Glenn Beck and Scott Adams both alluded to these people who are not understanding what exactly is going on. Or no, they probably understand, but their job at this point is to convince the nuts that what they're seeing isn't good. That trying to balance a budget, trying to stop corruption. Oh no, you don't want to do that. You know, it's bad. We need to keep spending money. So let's take a listen here.
Efficiency, and if there is exaggerated costs or abuse of